So how are things there now? Because the sad thing is that, that's 2010 we're talking about. Now it's 2021. And what I just couldn't help but think while I'm sitting there listening to that is that's almost like the dream scenario. If you're sitting there in a democracy, not talking about the deaths and all that stuff, but it's like you're sitting in a democracy and you think about these countries across the world that are dictatorships. And it's like, that, no other government can just come in and invade and change the government. That doesn't work. But you hope that the people themselves can rise up and can kind of make change. And like you said, with the Arab Spring, social media was this huge, game changer in that whole scenario. But now I think, quickly the whole civil war in Syria kind of, I guess, ends up in a very political mess with tons of different, factions and different groups who have different interests, competing against each other. And then other foreign governments are involved. And Russia obviously has just sat there and propped up Assad the entire time. And I think it's, when I listen to you talk about what the people in Syria were actually fighting for, and then you listen to people like Putin discuss stability. And it's like, well, Assad is a legitimate ruler of Syria, and we want to keep him there because having a legitimate ruler is stable, But it's like, what stability do you want? Stability of, the being able to chop kids' fingers off at a school because they make a painting, or like you're talking about your dad's friend who has been missing for basically 10 years.
Yeah, until now. I mean, he was arrested with his son, and we don't know why. We don't know the reason. And until now, he is missing, and we don't know if he is alive or not. And his wife still waiting there. And she has a hope. So it was really like dramatic. I mean, when my father was arrested as well, we didn't know if he will stay alive or not. He will come back or not. And we didn't know where to which place he will go. So they will not give you any information. They will not give you anything about it. And they play on this figure. They play on this side to like warn you. If you speak up more, you will be arrested. You will be the next one.
Yeah.
So not only your father, you will be the next one. We've been threatened as well. Like when we were like in the airport, they said, if you'll not go away, you will be arrested with your mother, your sister, and your grandma. So I was like, no, I have to escape. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what I was saying is that that's just the most disappointing thing ever, because you have all these people who did take the risk. They do stand up. And now here we are 11 years later, and none of those people's lives are any better in Syria. And it's just, it's not encouraging for other people in other dictatorships who are unhappy, because then they see, well, what's our choice? We either continue to live with the devil that we know, like an Assad, or we have a revolution. Lots of people die, and millions of people have to flee to other countries. And then 11 years later, it's the same guy, controlling stuff. So how do people, I'm guessing that even the people who were too afraid and didn't speak up probably weren't happy, of course, with Assad. How do people in Syria feel? Is there still hope that things can be better, that maybe Assad, there's more eyeballs on him now and there's a shorter leash, so he can't do quite as extreme of things as he used to do? What's the kind of feeling there now as far as like outlook for the future?
I think people now are focusing, unfortunately, are more focusing now on their basic needs, because even the basic needs are missing now, like food, electricity, water. So he played it very, very smart, I have to admit. So as you said, like we started, like the revolution started very peacefully with some demands from that we want from the government. But now look how big it is. So Al-Assad played it very smart and made it so huge that it is not solved anymore, or like he's the only one who can like solve it, let's say. This is what he wants us to perceive, let's say. I think people are now like the situation in Syria is now so bad that people maybe now they want to like live peacefully and normally. I think some of the people who really, really believed in the revolution still have this hope, and they are still fighting, because even if they get silent now and they're like, okay, we accept Al-Assad, please come back to your place and we are happy with you, he would not leave them alone, So their lives are already destroyed, whatever they choose. So what they would choose is like, okay, we will go further with our decision and we will fight until the end. Because even if we stop fighting, we are dead anyways. So I think this is the hope from the people who really believed in the revolution. And I think the other part of the people are like, really can't find, like they can't even find food now for themselves and for their families. So I think they are now like, just let us live normally and we don't want anything else. So I think they are divided in these two parts.